critical thinking, original thinking, or creativity. We also have two special awards for the best speakers from each team. Clarity in understanding of the topic, diction, logical delivery of the stand, ability to argue for or against the proposition, humor, confidence. So, from the proposing team, I would like to call the members. Dr. Safa Sheikh, please come on stage. Dr. Anjali Gupta, Dr. Thamare Ravi Shankar, Dr. Pavan Soni, and Dr. Subhra Kulkarni. The participants from the opposing team are Dr. Aishwarya Kulkarni, Dr. Yaraj Sadri, Dr. Kishore Kumar, Dr. Pranav Jo, and Dr. Sonali Kyan. Kindly take the Before proceeding on with the debate, I would like to welcome our beloved Principal Sir, Dr. Vipin Jain Sir, to share his thoughts on the topic.
वाईफाई चालू रहे.
I'll do it at the end.
वाईफाई चालू रहे.
No. I'll do it at the end.
Fine.
वाईफाई चालू रहे.
The names of the please announce your name. Please announce your name.
चार्जर है 70 तक 70. लेकिन मांगा भी तो लगाएंगे कैसे? तो बड़ी पॉइंट नहीं मांगेंगे तो भी लगाएंगे कैसे? बड़ी तो पॉइंट तो लैपटॉप इधर रखिए, फिर चार्जर से कॉर्ड पे लगाए.
When I introduce them again, I'll just with the time. Everyone, kindly introduce yourself.
Before you start. When they come there, they will. Hello. Yeah.
See, when they take the mic, you have to just tell their name and then start. Start.
Okay, so from the proposing team.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Safa Sheikh and I am from the Department of Psychiatry, MD Part 1. So, good morning, honorable judges, respected opponents, and my esteemed audience. Today, I stand before you to advocate centralization of medical education. Hello. Good morning, honorable judges, respected opponents, and my esteemed audience. I am Dr. Safa Sheikh from the Department of Psychiatry, and we are standing before you to advocate centralization of medical education in current times will benefit the health scenario in India. A move that I firmly believe will revolutionize our healthcare landscape. The decentralization of medical education has led to disparity in the quality of doctors we produce, as wide as the gap between the privileged and the underprivileged in our society, more seeming like a gamble. Let us start with the facts. According to the latest updates, there are over 706 medical colleges in India, from which 386 are of the government colleges, 320 are of private colleges, and 53 from the deemed universities. Yet, we still face a severe shortage of doctors, one for 834 as reported in the Times of India. Why? Because decentralization has led to a wide variety in the quality of education. Some colleges are state of the art, while the others are barely able to stand to the limits of basic needs. It's like trying to make a 5-star meal with ingredients from a street side vendor. What can you expect? Even at best and disastrous at worst. Centralization promises a unified, consistent standard across all medical institutions. Imagine a system where every medical student from Delhi to Dibrugarh has access to the same quality of medical education, cutting-edge technology, and experienced faculty. It is a move towards making excellence the norm rather than exception. This isn't a utopian dream. This is what centralization has to offer. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and centralization ensures that there are no weak links in our healthcare system. My opponents might be under the guise that decentralization offers diversity and in India and autonomy. So I would like to answer that diversity should never be an excuse for disparity. India's diversity is its strength, but when it comes to medical education, this diversity has been exploited, leading to a fragmented system where quality varies drastically. It is an inconvenience and a disaster. The lives of our citizens are not bargaining chips to be gambled within underfunded and under-resourced institutions that fail to meet even the basic standards of medical education. Let me paint a picture. A student from a subpar medical college who has had limited amount of facilities, technologies, teaching faculty, and a student who has graduated from a top-tier college. And both graduate, and what is the difference between them? And what and how, who suffers? It is the patient, the common man who trusts the doctor is a doctor despite from where they have graduated is the one who suffers because they lack equal amount of competency. This is not a question of autonomy, it is a question of life and death. Decentralization is like a freestyle learning, One college teaches what is modern medicine, other colleges teaching what is folk, what is yoga, and praise health, and all this is becoming a healthcare buffet, where the only guarantee you will have is indigestion. The current decentralization system is a mixed bag. Indian healthcare system is like a patchwork system full of insecurities and a divide in the quality of education between institutes. Decentralization has led to an increase in the number of colleges, no doubt, more number of medical graduates, no doubt, and also privatization. But they are compromising on quality education that has made college just a degree churning mills, churning out ill-equipped doctors. When we talk about saving lives, can we afford to compromise on the quality education that our doctors receive? Absolutely not. We do not. Decentralization is like going to the doctor and ordering a mystery box. You never know what will come up. A skilled surgeon or someone who learned anatomy, maybe from a unique syllabus that they have derived on their own. Opponent might argue that centralization stifles innovation and imposes a one-size-fits-all model. To them I say, innovation we need is in creating a world-class medical education system, not allowing subpar institutions experiment with our patients' health. Innovation within a centralized system is not only possible, but it is necessary. It provides infrastructure, funding, and intellectual resources needed to push the boundaries of medical research and education. Centralization also brings with it the power of regulation. In our current system, regulatory oversight is fragmented and often ineffective. So, subpar institutions thrive. Not adequate trained doctors. With centralization, we can implement uniform accreditation standards, regular assessments, and a streamlined regulatory framework that holds every institution in India accountable for their work. Decentralized institutions struggle to access latest technologies, resources, research materials, and skilled faculty. Centralization can pool the resources and ensure that every medical college and every medical student has access to the tools that need to become a competent medical graduate and professional. It's like giving everyone a short shot at success. Centralization of medical education is not just a policy decision, it is a moral imperative. We cannot afford to continue with a system that produces inconsistent results.
Now, Sagar.
Hello. My name is Dr. Pranazo. So, my friend Safa said that decentralization is a disparity, but I would like to strongly disagree with her. Decentralization is not about splitting apart, but it empowers the communities and individuals to have more control over their lives, resources, fostering innovation, resilience, and sustainability. Here, my team and I against the centralization of the medical education in current times. India is a diverse country, like you said. Every 100 kilometers, our ethnicity changes. The decentralization form addresses to it and offers more flexibility and local adjustability, where centralization system will become rigid. Main advantage of decentralization format is that the enduring significance commitment to local educational freedom that is rooted in the form of culture, language, economics, history, geography, as well as politics. And it gives us the efficient way of management, as local authorities are empowered with decision making. No wonder my computer skills are very poor. These are mess because I learned computer on a blackboard. But I cannot compete with my friend Yaris, because he had the privilege that he could learn computer on a specialized computer lab. Yes, I can compete with him if there is a coding competition with the chalks. And similarly, every state in India have a different educational system. It is crucial to allow them flexibility to adapt and implement policies that cater to their betterment. Before 2017, admission in the medical colleges or any higher studies were based on state-controlled entrance exam and 12 board marks. For example, in Tamil Nadu, percentage of rural students and getting admission in government medical college increasing exponentially each year. It dipped by 10% in 2017 after NEET came into play. The number of government school students applying for higher education fell by 64% in 2021 from the pre-NEET average of 95%. India is a democratic country, but NTA was constituted in a non-democratic way by bypassing the state assembly. NTA came up with certain ideas to achieve the objectives. The objectives were tackle corruption, prevent backdoor entries, conduct the efficient, transparent, and standardized tests. But do you really think does it serve the purpose? Thank you.
Hello, good morning everyone. Myself Dr. Anjali from Repertory Department. My opponent is Dr. Rahul, Dr. Karnojo. You commented that on history and geography, I would like to clear, being a doctor, being a medical student, we are talking about the health of a life. We are talking about the life of human being. Okay, so what, and you told about the computer skills. We are not dealing with coding. We are not well versed with this advanced technology. We can understand. But government and centralized system is providing sources to each and everyone from rural population. They provide, there are almost 130 coaching free classes all over India. All of you have heard about Khan sir, yeah? Like that we have Diksha, mobile vans, Sanstha, council. There are many classes, free coaching has been given to our rural population. And the NTA has applied the rule that the centers, examination centers are within 50 to 100 kilometers of their residence. So there is no problem of any communication. And being a future doctor, if you can't travel for 50 to 100 kilometers, which will take only 2 to 3 hours. So that is the point of doing the decentralization. And I want to say about the NT examination. The point you are talking about the paper leak and the students are not getting the equality. So I want to say, even in our state board examination, even in CET, Maharashtra CET, in 2022 there was a paper leak. In 2016 from Madhya Pradesh there was a paper leak. How can you guarantee that a decentralized system cannot leak the paper? And another point, we have heard the NTA system is different and this centralization exam is different. We cannot guarantee about the paper leak being any part of India. Even James Bond cannot find the system of leak. Leak system is like paranoid system for us. We have one paranoid friend who always keeps a lock in every app. So we can't guarantee about the leak system. Okay. Then about this, we are proposing, centralized system is proposing next exam, FFGP exam, which will be better for the future upcoming doctors. Okay, so we can't say how only the regional people are not getting they are not getting the opportunity. When foreign students, like the students studying from abroad, coming here with fancy degrees and saying I'm a doctor from Russia, that he doesn't mean he can practice only in minus 30 degrees Celsius. He should know the surgery here also. You cannot say, no, he should know the surgery here also. Not only in Russia but also in our village like Bhopoli. Then we are not practicing here on potatoes and brinjal. Our system MLD MHI, we run the so very well. Foundation in Bhopoli, we have Diksha, we have mobile van. Here we go to an individual place for these rural people where internet connection is not there. You said about they don't know about the computer skills. Our sir, we will guide you there. There literally every person go to their place, they teach them how to use this recent mobile and about they serve pads. Even I don't have this pad system, but there in rural areas they teach about the pad system, this recent technology. You said about the paper leak, even Batman was not having about the skills. Later he learned the crime skills, like how to fight the crime skills. I think this our centralized system will also find a signal like bad signals. And you are talking like it should be decentralized. So if your nails are going, will you cut the hand or you will cut your nails? So there's no any point of changing the decentralized system to centralized system to decentralized system. There are many post-matric scholarship for poor peoples from rural peoples. In this decentralized system, there are people who don't know what they are doing. They are from different colleges. Like we from UG, we are from different colleges. When we come here in a proper clinical setting, where there is a proper methodology teach, where there is critical thinking, where there is active learning, where there is action learning, we can we can see the difference between a PG and UG. Dr. Anjali. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Sanali. As my worthy opponent, Dr. Anjali, started with the NDA that locations about the locations of centers which are locations and the centers of the government which provides us. They are only in metropolitan city only. Alright, like for example, I got it in Nagpur. That is from 3 hours away from my place, and my teammate Dr. Aishwarya got the location in Bangalore. Like it's too far away from our native places. So it's like you're saying कि it's very easy कि हमको locations मिल जाती है. No, वो बहुत ज़्यादा दूर होती है और सिर्फ metropolitan cities में होती है. Okay, and next point जो आपने बोला कि टेक्नोलॉजी जो हर जगह अवेलेबल है, कहीं कहीं गांव में प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए टू लर्न एनाटॉमी, बेसिक एनाटॉमी लर्न करने के लिए कैडावर नहीं होता है. अब जब कैडावर नहीं है तो उसके हम सीखेंगे कैसे कि कहाँ पर क्या प्रेजेंट है, कौन सा स्ट्रक्चर कैसे प्रेजेंट है. अगर हमें वो बेसिक ही नहीं पता तो आगे हम कैसे पेशेंट को ट्रीट करेंगे. इफ यू डोंट नो द लोकेशन ऑफ अ मसल फॉर एग्जांपल, देन हाउ विल यू एग्जामिन द पेशेंट कि ये कंडीशन इसकी वजह से हुई है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट जो आपने बोला अबाउट द एनटीए लीड्स. ओके, so starting to that, there was a headline that entire NEET paper was solved in 45 minutes before the exam. Supreme Court said this to the center. Okay, तो about that कि इतनी जल्दी पेपर कैसे सॉल्व हो गए. तो ये था कि एग्जाम के पहले ही जो कुछ स्टूडेंट्स थे उनको आंसर्स याद करवा दिए गए थे कि लाइक टेक दिस एंड दैट एंड ऑल. सो ये जो चल रहा है माल प्रैक्टिसेस एंड ये जो माल प्रैक्टिसेस होते चल रही है, तो ये एनटीए के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स थे. तो आप जो बोल रहे हैं कि लीक्स इस लेवल पे हो सकते हैं, डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन लेवल पे, तो पहले भी लीक्स होते थे और अभी लीक्स हो रहे हैं, राइट. तो इसलिए तो एनटीए आया ताकि लीक्स ना हो. एनटीए के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स अचीव हुए नहीं हुए. सारी ये जो लीक्स हो रहे हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल एनटीए का एक अचीवमेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि जो एनटीए बिलीव्स इन क्वालिटी एंड एफिशिएंसी. 2021 नीट में जो एस्पिरेंट्स थे उन्होंने डायरेक्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट में रीटेस्ट के लिए कहा था और वो हुआ नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि उन्होंने पेटिशन दिया था एनटीए को कि जो पेपर लीक्स वगैरह हो रहे थे उस टाइम पे, तो उस टाइम पे पेटिशन दिया था कि okay, fine. To identify एक ऑब्जेक्टिव है टू आइडेंटिफाई द एक्सपर्ट्स एंड इंस्टीट्यूशन फॉर सेटिंग द क्वेश्चंस. ओके, तो इसमें ये हुआ था कि क्वेश्चन सेट करने के लिए फिजिक्स का एक क्वेश्चन रॉन्ग था एंड वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के लिए गया था. तो उन्होंने 1560 स्टूडेंट्स को कहा था कि उनका मार्क्स जो है वो ग्रेसिंग दे दिया गया था, लेकिन उन्होंने वो विड्रॉ कर दिया। क्यों विड्रॉ किया? कि फिजिक्स का क्वेश्चन राइट था, तो एक ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि आप राइट क्वेश्चंस एटलीस्ट सेट करिए। हाउ मेनी टाइम्स ये नीट में हुआ है कि हर बार रॉन्ग क्वेश्चन सेट किए गए हैं? lot many times. Okay, and main एक quote से हम स्टार्ट करते हैं। महात्मा गांधी का quote है, खादी mentality means decentralization of the production and distribution of the necessaries of the life. With that, I will, by standardization we can achieve the state level if the power has been divided. Okay, and to conduct the examination at state level, अगर power divide हो गया तो वो better way में conduct होगा. And the एक और part है, the idea of village Swaraj is that to complete that is the complete republic independent of its neighbor for its vital wants and yet independent for its many others which is dependent or necessary. मतलब all states should conduct exam at their own level ताकि power divide हो जाए. For example, अगर कुछ issues हो रहे हैं बिहार में, पटना में, जैसे कि पेपर लीक्स हो गए, वहाँ पे 13 एस्पिरेंट्स को पकड़ा गया और उनको 50 to 70 lakhs फी भरनी पड़ी। तो ये सारे जो लीक्स होते हो रहे हैं एट एनटीए लेवल पे, तो ये ऑब्जेक्टिव्स बिल्कुल भी अचीव नहीं हुए हैं। सो यही पॉइंट है कि पहले भी जो हो रहे थे लीक्स और अभी भी लीक्स हो रहे हैं, तो एनटीए के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स अचीव नहीं हुए हैं। एंड
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Sukhada. I am from first part MD. So, Sonali, you talked about the availability of cadavers in medical. There is no availability. But see, this is the thing that if you provide centralization, the education quality improves. Because it has been seen that there has been a lot of increase in the medical colleges that Safa has already mentioned. So this has been hampering the quality of medical education. There has been no proper assessment system. See, if there is proper assessment system like NAT has come very efficiently, so the colleges are preparing very well to up to their mark. They are not giving false false records, or like we have already experienced in our UG colleges, we will false case papers so that just because there is an inspection. So this is hampering our education quality, our skills, our efficiency of being a doctor. A doctor cannot be dishonest like this, but because this is in our system, if this privatization becomes centralized, if the central government approaches more efficiently in this area, I think these bribery or corruptions. Now there is also a point of corruption that one paper mentions that 30 officials were found prima facie for leaking question papers, and clerks are more involved in this process. So clerks, also other officials. So this is not the system which will make good doctors, and this will further hamper the health scenario of India. Then I would like to raise what you were calling about, what you said about the reservations. See, if you said that state, if a person wants admission in their particular state, it is easier to get. Yes, it is easier, but this nationalization or centralization, it provides opportunities for a person who is desirable to get an admission to a quality education institution like AIMS, like NIH in homeopathy. So I think that this can improve the quality, because what we need is quality. Staying far from your home is your individual reasoning, or what we can say. And the other things that you raised were about NTA. So I think that it was a 4-point in our regards, because NTA is a national testing agency, and because NTA has come into picture, it has improved the testing efficiencies and all. So I would like to sum up that If we centralize, then we would be able to improve the coverage. We would be able to cover the affordability, the creativity, and we would be able to reduce the bribery that have been occurring in India. And this is what I want to say.
Good morning to one and all present here. My name is Dr. Ayush Sadri, MD Part 1 President, and I would say, phew, what a heated debate is going on. NTA, scams and everything, standardization. Wow. So firstly, I would just like to say the standardization part. I would appreciate the Center for Standardization. Okay? So, the standardization is now being at the competency based, and now it is at the 3 levels, at person, institute and nation. But now let's talk about the basic, about the person, the development of the student. Okay, last night I was just scrolling and I found an article from Times of India that the National Medical Commission is liberally giving allowing construction of new colleges, that also government colleges. For example, in Telangana state itself, the number of colleges from 12 to 27, and when scrutinized, these colleges were found to be lacking basic infrastructure. And what happened to those colleges? They were just taken off the hook by penalties. None of these colleges' infrastructure was repaired. So my fellows do a bit of research on it. And I would like to say, but what happened with this? Thousands of junior doctors didn't have duty rooms to attend to. So, my question to all is that if an aspirant who has worked hard, the pains and restless nights, for what? Okay? Sorry for disturbing you. For what? These colleges are not even having basic life resuscitating techniques. They're not even teaching CPR on medical dummies. So what? These students have to take extra efforts and go outside to learn. Isn't that institute enough? If it is standardized, why not? Colleges like Varda, CMC Vellore, AIMS, they have their secondary tests based on philosophy. Now my fellow will be like, oh, it is decentralization. But the impact is that they have a standardized teaching method because of it. Because people can connect easily with them. The next point I would like to raise, that students are being tested throughout. But what about the teachers? How a physician can be tested as a teacher? What skills does a teacher require? We don't have B.Ed. So in Ayush right now, there's NTET, examination for qualification of teachers. But how the efficiency can be judged? These can be judged through teacher training programs, through which the focus will shift from one to multiple methods of teaching techniques. This increases the diverse point of view and teaching methods. Okay. I would like to ask the question to the to-be doctors and to current practitioners. From which walk of society do you see patients? Are they from your own language? Isn't knowing the language a necessity to understand the expressions in society? Prime Minister Narendra Modi has advocated using regional languages as we are living in Amrit Kal. National Education Program 2020 promotes the use of mother tongue and regional languages in India. According to Economic Times in India, there has been a movement where formulation of medicine textbooks in regional languages have been done. English shouldn't be a hindrance for rural students to get a seat in medicine and to learn. What is happening after the standardization? There have been multiple students, because of their lack of knowledge in English, that they are failing in their exams. How can that be complete? won't it be unfair to them? This promotes inversely increasing the doctor-patient ratio, which according to the NCBI article right now is 1:1854. But according to WHO standard, we should be having 1:1000. Don't you think this community reach of doctors can be achieved through decentralization, where everyone knows their own language at times? Won't it be lost in their translation otherwise? By impacting the state's economy as well? Thank you.
One score. One score.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Dr. Pawan from Pediatric Department. So, first, I want to really appreciate Dr. Yarish. Yes. You have raised up a good issue. But I want to say something about this. Can you guarantee me it's only because of centralization policies we are facing these issues? Can you guarantee us that decentralization can only make in India a good medical education country? Language, you think language is a barrier? Kishore, do you feel the same? I think you should also feel the same. Did you take admission in MLD? Okay. Yes, I noted. Thank you. Okay. National Testing Agency conduct exam in English because English is an international language, and for developing country we should know about the rules, regulations, and the further medical education in this language to cope up with the other countries also. It is not only about the local language and the local peoples. The diseases mentioned in the books are not only in local peoples. In homeopathy, we learn about the expressions, not only about the disease. We study man as a whole, not as a disease. So, language should be not the barrier. You talk about infrastructure. I want to tell you that for a better infrastructure, we need to have a better education system which can be constructed by centralization. Centralization gives the opportunity to the nation and also to the students to have a better medical facilities. Now we will tell how. When there is a policies like when we come, do you know that India is having decentralization? Do you agree with it? Yes. Still we face the loopholes. You address it, right? Yes. So you also know that there is something that centralization can improve. You are agree about it. So centralization is needed. But how centralization is needed? Because in accepting any policies, any allocation of fund for medical education and any access to any facilities, we need and better command and better government to establish this fund in any situations like in pandemics and all these things. In pandemics, we follow the regulations done by the Medical Council of India, which was dissolved now. Now it is National Medical Council. But we follow the rule and regulation and also the guidelines which they have given to us. Now I want to say something that what has centralization to give to India? Uniform standards that centralized can give to India. Centralization ensures the consistent quality standard across the medical institution, reducing the despair in education and ensuring all students meet at the same high of bureaucracy. Efficiency and resource allocations. Centralized control can lead to a better distribution and utilization of resources, including faculty, equipments, funding, preventing waste, and efficacies. Enhanced collaborations. It facilitates the collaboration between the institution, region, fostering a united approach to medical research, curriculum, and development of evolution. You know about curriculums, yes? I think. So, streamlined accreditations and regulations. Centralized system simplifies the accreditations processes, ensuring that the institution adheres the same rigorous standards and regulations. Equitable access. Centralization can address a regional imbalance to directing the resource and opportunity to undeserved areas, promoting more balanced distribution to medical education across the country. Improve data management. A central body can better utilize data related to medical education, leading to informed policy making and evidence-based. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Kishore Kumar from Practice of Medicine. Whatever. What are you I don't know who to rebut it, from Safa to Anjali or Pawan. Actually, everyone was talking about the centralization of medical education. But did you see that in the base level, the education is still decentralized, like basic education? The basic education, your schooling, everything is decentralized. That comes because the government, actually it is for the people, by the people. They put in more efforts to make sure that everyone is literate. The first thing is the government focuses on the literacy of the people. Okay, then they bring on every next features. So to bring on the literature, they first try to reduce the resistance. So for that, they keep the education at the level of regional languages. Okay, so in regional languages, most of the education is provided through matriculation syllabuses. Okay, the so-called central system of education you call, they are basically CBSE, right? So these CBSE education, these CBSE NCERT books are available only in CBSE schools, and it is not accessible for every population here. And if it is not accessible to every population, you are in a city, you are in a town, you can access to CBSE school and CBSE NCERT textbooks. How can a rural population kid would get an access to it? Then you don't want any doctors from Gopoli. Only you want to be a doctor. And Dr. Saka's point, you are trying to get 5-star meals from street vendors. Yeah, you can get 5-star meal from street vendors. Similarly, you can't centralize every institution. Every institution has its plus and minuses. You have to play by your strengths and weaknesses. So you can't just simply go and take it could be a rural setup. The infrastructure might have not been developed. They might be developing. You have to give them the space and time to develop. You can't be expecting like, okay, I have come here, I'm going to give them everything. And I don't think you people trust your government, guys. No, you people don't trust your state government itself in the first place. That's why you're so center. Even though the center brings in that thing, the state government is the one who is going to implement it. It is the one who is going to see that it reaches nook and corner to every person. And Safa's point, no one size fits all. Same. So it does not, no one size fits all. So these centralization can't be working in everywhere. So how many of you has taken a year of training, or how many of you have taken coaching classes for attending your UG examinations? So everyone, most of you have attended. How much cost it costed? It costed at least in thousands, na? So if you are having money, you can do it. If you are not having money, no, not all coaching is free. No, you have to pay for books. You have to see certain people, they have. See, you have Akash, you have Alliance. There are different levels of coaching. Only every top tier. Air 1, Air 2, Air 3, haven't you seen newspapers, guys? You have for resources so much. Everyone, Akash, Alex. now you are saying that you are bringing centralization. These are private institutions. And so it brings in like disparity only. If you are bringing centralized education, it just brings in disparity. You can't expect everyone to cope up in every situations. You can't expect the central government to be serving for everyone. See, you have to in Tamil Nadu model of education, the per capita income or every literacy rate or enrollment rate is greater rather than all states. If you compare to overall India, if it is 23% in India, the Tamil Nadu literacy rate, the Tamil Nadu graduate enrollment rate is around 47%. And per capita income, it is when in 2012 to 2018, when it was 37% in India, in Tamil Nadu itself it was around 90%. This was achieved through various schemes. See, even if you are going to attend a medical exam, if you are going to pursue medical education through decentralized method, it does not mean that after completing your school you are going to just go knock the door of the college and go and sit there. You have worked for it. That's how you have got into your UGs. See, the doctors you are working under, they came through this decentralized education only. Okay, they did not have airlines or anything else. Okay, so I would like to conclude by saying one point, that decentralization is the basic system, and centralization, it favors the richest and it furthermore downstreams the poor also.
Kishore, I did not expect this from you. We ourselves are a product of centralization, man. We came here because of All India exam. We came here because we you yourself are saying, yeah. He himself came and he's saying that no, what decentralization, you don't trust your state government, are you bloody hell? State government comes under central government, your state government alag hai? What are you talking here? And ancient civilization mein what did Nalanda say? Move out of your house. You can't go to Harvard and Stanford from your own house. You have to move out for global competency, for global civilization. And what will you achieve sitting in your homes? So, and the main thing, you're talking about coaching classes. Okay, very good. And then you're talking about civilization, infrastructure and everything. The main thing we are focusing about today is medical education. We are trying to centralize medical education. It should be equal to every single person in the country, from central institution to the remotest corner of India. The curriculum should be same, the assessment should be same, everything should be same. So everybody is given the benefit of same curriculum, same education, irrespective of where they come from. That is our main motive. We are not focused on infrastructure. Yes, that is important. But first standardize the curriculum, man. Then we can shift to infrastructure and everything. And there's also another thing. You also said NCERT syllabus and CBSE syllabus, NCERT syllabus, right? State syllabus, matriculation syllabus. Do you know something? NCERT syllabus is being incorporated in many schools. So now today it is medical education. So medical education mostly encompasses the colleges, UG colleges, PG colleges. That is what. Okay. And another thing. Where do we all come from? We all come from different UG colleges, right? Where did we come to? MIT, MHI. So, can you see the difference in your peers and your knowledge? There's a wide variety of difference. Why? Because we were not given the benefit of ICR. Many people have the benefit of ICR. We were not given the benefit of andragogy, pedagogy. We were not taught critical thinking in our colleges. So, if we have, just imagine, if we have this benefit, we from home members across country. So you should understand this first. So, and thank you for bringing that Tamil Nadu's 47%. Okay. So you only want Tamil Nadu to improve. So you only want Tamil Nadu to improve. You don't want Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh or even Maharashtra's literary rate to go up. Don't you want that? Of course, don't. We all want the benefit, right? So, what should be the basic thing? Centralization.
Ultimately, everything should be centralized. So, if education system is safe everywhere, why will the student be afraid of going there and studying? So that is what. So I hope you take whatever we say with a pinch of salt. So before you make a lemonade of 7 minutes, opposing team, I would like to ask you a few questions and I hope you address all these. If decentralization leads to a fragmented healthcare system, how do you ensure that national health priorities such as epidemic control are effectively implemented across all regions? Second, how do you guarantee that decentralization doesn't lead to the concentration of best resources and talent only in a few privileged regions, leaving the underserved? And I also want to ask you one last question. Despite the points we have raised, are you still willing to put the patient's life at risk and just to experiment with decentralized education? So please address these points and thank you so much.
Good evening all. This is Dr. Aishwarya Kulkarni from Psychiatry Department. So much pressure, yeah. So, someone said that decentralization is a mystery box. Kholo na. Why are you so afraid about it? Why are you afraid to open this mystery box? So, the preamble of Indian Constitution suggests sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. There is justice, liberty, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality, fraternity. Fraternity where you give the dignity of individual and there is integrity of the nation. But what does decentralization mean? Decentralization is not merely the transfer of responsibility. It is also deburdening. It involves reforms. What are these reforms? These are reforms which ensure, and it is a policy excuse for the lack of funds and cuts in budgets. In this context, the terms community-based financing, performance financing, public-private partnerships come into picture. Definancing rather than financial delegation. Successful decentralization of any system is neither quick nor easy. It requires changes on many fronts, behavioral and institutional. But we can make this happen. Every major attempt to decentralize basic education systems throughout the world involves changes in the law. Let me ask everyone a question here. How many of you who haven't been to Populi know the word Nakli? Can you please raise your hands? I hardly see it. We live in a tribal area, right? And Navli is actually a vernacular word for pearl millet or natsni or ragi as we call it. We live in a tribal area where maximum deaths happen because of postpartum hemorrhage and the cause is anemia. Very much treatable with natsni. So, how are we going to try to communicate the community if we can't even communicate the small word? So, you can read all you want from your Harrison, McBride, the centralized textbooks, but how are you going to communicate with the patient in their own language? Democracy means decentralization of power. Local self-governments are looked upon instruments of decentralization as a participatory democracy, Panchayati Raj. The centralization of medical education in current times will benefit the health scenario in India in this way. There are so many educationists who have criticized the NTA. Have you read those articles? That for the lack of transparency, they have said, how can you run a secret examination of any kind? We don't even know the computer agency that is contacted to conduct the exam. Anyone who tells us that there is a transparency in the NTA, the alternative is CBSE. Why does their paper not leak? So the protests against NTA invite the attention to a larger question right now. That is a practicality of entrance examinations in this country. And since India is a very unequal and diverse country, we also have witnessed the impact of mental health it has had. So you know that in 2021, the youth suicide rate was, youth suicide amount was 60,000 youth had committed suicide. Language, as someone talked about language, if you say that someone from a particular language, say Maharashtra, can understand Kannada to clear the exam, how will you understand the role of migration when you understand that, because it is not a fact that a person from Maharashtra will not be able to speak any other language. and is especially applicable to metropolitan cities. And someone has said that within every 100 meters, the language and the dialect also changes. So let me ask the other team a question: that where does a centralized system give justice to someone who has lost a government seat by 1 mark? Need of the hour versus idealistic approaches is my point. The need of the hour is a community position, and idealism is the manufacturing of doctors, where manufacturing of integration and institutionalization. What is the goal of education? The goal of education is the betterment of self and community. Now I'll come to the point of research, which no one has touched right now. Basic goal of education is the betterment of self and community, which comes with research. So with the help of community, we will be able to do more community research where there are more community physicians. And this only comes from experience. While the exams are intended to provide equal opportunities to all, they often result in increased pressure, stress, anxiety among students, which can adversely affect their mental health. Also, decentralization in the content, and we understand the Panchayati Raj, which is an instrument of decentralization and local self-determination. So, dear friends, tell me that when you talk about, everyone is talking about centralization and decentralization. At the center, everyone is happy. So why is there a brain drain where people are going to Russia, Philippines, USA, Canada? Tell me that. Answer that question for me. If someone says that decentralization is a fragmented part, do not fragments empower. Fragments can be fortified to empower. Decentralization can invoke the quality. It will invoke the quality because the fragments will empower it. 1:834 is not a small thing. It is a very difficult thing. Just the numbers don't define it. Because we are a population of, can anyone tell me? 1.4 billion. So, we are trying to understand that quality of education is also determined by the quality of training of the teachers. And what is the center doing for it? Please answer that question. So the grassroots and technology is going to help us in that. If the center has to reach the center of people's homes, it has to decentralize. Decentralization in India was espoused in the Gandhian tenet of local self-determination, which found its validation in the Panchayati Raj. Today, we young minds ponder over our choices. Today's decisions are shaping tomorrow's reality. I thank the opponent for presenting a very sound argument. But I believe that the facts and logic are on our side.
Take the vote before they vote.
Phew, that was such an intense debate, guys. You totally nailed it. A huge round of applause for them once again. Now, as the official debate has ended, anyone from audience can feel free to share their views on the same topic. Okay.
Please ask for a vote.
Yes.
I think we should follow what candidates are talking about.
Okay, guys. Let's vote.
Centralization.
The audience first, not the
Hello. After a debate, the proposition is put to the vote. And the House now will vote for the proposition. So you are now, the House is now asked to vote if the proposal for centralization of medical education will benefit the health scenario in India. All those who are convinced by the people who have proposed please put up their hands.
We can see the majority here. Your hands once up again. I will take a head count. 44. And now for the opposite team. Against. Don't be scared. Anyone else? 15.
You should ask how many are undecided.
Neutral. Okay. The neutral now.
Okay.
I would now request the judges to kindly proceed to the discussion room. Dr. Yogini, can you please escort them?
How much time you are giving us?
10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Take your time, don't worry. Finish off your job. Finish your job. Sachin and you. Finish the job. अरे तुम्हाला जायचंय ना काहीतरी.
Hello, all the participants. So please take a seat. Please take a seat. And while the judges are taking their time to discuss and decide, we have an important function to deliver. I invite Dr. Sachin sir. We have certain prizes to distribute. Few days before, we have conducted a poster competition for the anti-ragging week. So we want to distribute the prizes to the winners of that competition. Also, one of our students, Dr. Sukhada, has received. We all know that she had received a prize at NUHS level for her poster on the research competition. So I would request now, Sachin sir. Okay, Shivani will announce. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. So NUHS every year promote research by various means. One of the things they have done was Ayush Conclave. In Ayush Conclave, all the Ayush faculty participate for whatever the research work they have done. So this year we had sent 4 entries. So the first round is selection for that. First round is the selection for actual presentation. So from our side, Sudha and Jisha, they had work. That was Avishka. Okay. So Sudha had presented her work. Her work was selected for a research conclave, and then she had to compete with rest of the faculties and rest of the other colleges. So there were, in her category, there were, I think, 20 participants were there. Her category was PG category. So there was a PhD category, there was a PG category and UG category. So she represented MLD MHI for PG category, and we are really proud. This was an online competition this time, and different faculties were judges. So not only from homeopathy, from other faculties also. And then she should secure first rank in a BD. So we request Kumar sir to give her certificate. MEHS has sent us the medal and and a certificate. Only last point I wanted to make, see NUHs and other competitions are also there. Avishkar is coming up now, okay, and usually the Avishkar is in November, December, but we have to start preparation now so that you can present a better yeah. And I also request teachers, because majority of you are doing PhD. So next time for a PhD category, our representation should be more, so that all the medals should come to ours.
It's only MUHS you need. PhD in MUHS. They can't come.
Every year, government proposes to all HEIs, higher education institutes, to observe anti-rating bill, to curb the processes, to curb this movements, and to sensitize the seniors to stay away from these practices, because this. So every year they promote us to undergo or take up some activities to promote this again. So this year also we have conducted this anti-rating activity in our center, in our institute, and then all the batches were invited to make the. So this year also we have conducted in the last 2 weeks that you are all aware about it. So three competition posters have been chosen for this certificates. So I would like to request Kumar sir to hand over the certificates to others. Posters have to.
Was it?
No, they are not displayed. They will
It will take time to project this poster. Next time onwards, we'll make sure that posters will also be projected on this. So, sir, Anup sir, please come.
You will go to sleep.
I would like to request Anup sir to give the certificates. Very important thing, thanks to our hostel committee, those who have proactively conducted this competition within a very short notice, and it went off without any idea. So that was important. Yeah, I will hand over on the please.
On the third position, we have Dr. Safa Sheikh. On the second spot, we have Dr. Manisha Chitole. And the winner for poster slogan competition is Dr. Pooja Shah. Please not present here, can someone please select and collect the prize on our behalf?
I want to make guide.
Thank you, sir. This is the sensitization program is for the sensitization of anti-ragging, and you all know aware about it. we are going to welcome our next batch in these few months. I hope this sensitization also will get registered in all your mind and you will follow the all instructions. Thank you.
Now, moving on, please join me in welcoming our beloved principal sir, Dr. Vipin Jain sir.
बाकी लोगों को बोलने दो.
Other staff also.
Other staff participants who want to contribute to the theme.
So till the time the judges decide about it, I would like to invite anybody from the audience who wants, though they had not participated, who want to contribute anything, even from the faculty, on this issue of this topic or debate. Please raise the hand so I can pass the mic. Yes, Jigar. Muhammad Jigar.
I have to talk about anti-ragging on the debate.
See to it that we invite you as a judge for anti-ragging posters.
That is a sensitive topic. So the debate was really nice. Few of them I would actually like to take names. Kishore and what's your name? The blue one. You guys actually debated. You were on fire. Good. Lovely. बाकी लोग भी ऐसे ही डिबेट करो.
Hello. So, I would like to contribute over here. When I first heard the word centralization, as an ACT committee member, my mind automatically went into that process. The opposite of it, which I heard in NAC criteria 6, that is decentralization and participative management. So when I thought about it, there was this, the required evidence for this was the organogram of the institution, which talks about principal, hierarchy of the post, which starts from principal, vice principal to the various committees, the head of the committee, and then the associate professor and the assistant professor. So the hierarchy is well defined as per the competence, year of experience, eligibility of the individual. So what is important in this is each role is defined and each one is empowered to take decision at their own level. So this is the beauty of this decentralization process. The mechanism also favors the feedback mechanism, feedback system, which we can take from the stakeholders of different region. Each one is answerable, each one is accountable for the progress of the area and also to the higher authority which is present above us. So this also I have talked about in as a learning in my NAC journey during the, and I presented it on ICR day as well. That is the sense of responsibility and how it impacts the entire process. So when I was initially working under some central authority, I didn't own up that area, I didn't thought about it, I was just following the orders. So when I took the responsibility of my area, when I took the responsibility of enrichment of that my area, the innovation, the ideas, thoughts automatically started processing in my mind. And that is, I suggest, the power of decentralization. Because when you own up, when you have that sense of responsibility in your background, that automatically adds up to the growth of your particular region. And this is perfectly achieved through this decentralization process only. So, and that is the major core that I'll say, and that was a major learning in my NAC journey also. And also the transparency which is required is well maintained in decentralization process, because you are answerable to each and every individual above us and below us. It's not the only responsibility of the center, and there is no localization or centralization of the entire power at one level. There is decentralization of the power as well. And also, yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Chetna, for sharing your valuable opinion. I would also like to address this issue in my way. And first of all, I would like to thank the organizers that this time they introduced Hindi language to. Can you imagine एक लैंग्वेज भी ऐड होने की वजह से जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स है उनको एक्सप्रेशन में बहुत कंफर्ट आ जाता है. This is an example. I can quote this as an example of decentralization. कभी ना कभी, और मैं एक एग्जांपल देना चाहता हूँ. मैं किसी साइड से हूँ और मैं किसी पर्टिकुलर पार्टिसिपेंट को मैं फेवर कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. मगर आप भी सोचो, एक एग्जांपल में बताना चाहता हूँ, बहुत सारे लोगों को मालूम भी होगा कि ड्यूरिंग कोविड ऐसा सिचुएशन था कि जो भी हम लोग जो है सो कॉल्ड डॉक्टर्स एंड एमडीज, वो लोग को गांव में आने के लिए अलाउ नहीं किया था बिल्कुल, गांव वालों ने, कि हम लोगों को आपका ये फैसिलिटी है, मोबाइल और उसमें जो भी है डॉक्टर मशीन, हीमोग्लोबिन स्वीडन से मंगाया मशीन, वो ये सब हमको नहीं चाहिए. तो हम लोगों को ये लगा था कि अभी क्या होगा, कोविड के टाइम पे क्या होगा अभी. तो हम लोगों को कम्युनिटी ने ही गाइड किया. थैंक्स फॉर सम पार्ट ऑफ सेंट्रलाइज प्रोसेस से जो अपने CHVs गुजरे थे, थैंक्स फॉर दैट वे ऑफ सेंट्रलाइजेशन. बट डेफिनेटली अपने जो हॉल है भोपोली का, वहां पे हम लोगों ने, डॉक्टर लोगों ने, गोड़ा मैडम ने, गोड़ा सर ने ये डिसीजन लेना पड़ा कि हमारे जो अभी बेयरफुट डॉक्टर है, जो सो कॉल्ड सेंट्रलाइज प्रोसेस से थोड़े बहुत गुजरे हैं, मगर उनको उनकी लैंग्वेज सब कुछ उनको मालूम है. अभी ये जो कम्युनिटाइजेशन का जो प्रोसेस है, अभी हम लोगों को कम्युनिटी को हैंडल करना है. उनकी जिम्मेदारी, उनके हेल्थ की जिम्मेदारी उनके हाथ में देंगे. और ब्यूटीफुली मैं अप्रिशिएट करना चाहता हूँ CHVs को. उसमें से एक CHV जो है सुजाता नड़गे, उसको प्राइज मिला. उसके पास 3-4 दवाइयाँ दी थी और उसको सिखाया था, उसको बताया था कि तुझे क्या करना है वो तू देख. और उसके घर में जब उसकी सासू माँ जो बीमार थी कोविड से ही, तो सब लोग उसको उंगली दिखा रहे थे और देख रहे थे कि अब ये क्या करती देखेंगे. तो उसने पहले खुद के सासू माँ को दवाई दिया, वो अंदर की वापस अच्छा होके हेल्दी होके बाहर आ गई. फिर गांव वालों को दिखा कि अरे ये तो अच्छी हो गई, मतलब इसने दवाई दिया. तो वो बोली हाँ मेरे पास दवाइयाँ है. तो उसने दवाई देके उसके पानी के लोगों को अच्छा किया. और उसमें डेफिनेटली ये चीज जब तक हम कम्युनिटी को ये हैंडओवर नहीं करेंगे, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी डिसेंट्रलाइज करके, तब तक ये हम लोग नहीं अचीव कर सकते. तो उसके बाद बहुत ही CHV से कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत ही गेन किया हमने. और जो प्रोसेस वी एज अ डॉक्टर हम लोगों को पॉसिबल नहीं था. तो ये छोटा एग्जांपल से एवरीवन कैन अंडरस्टैंड. मैं खुद नहीं बोलूंगा कि इससे हम लोगों ने क्या सीखा. थैंक यू.
With their results. In the meantime, I think I would like to, before inviting our principals, I would like to share a few points, mainly the joy and the satisfaction that as a cultural committee head, I don't think this morning could have been more enlightening than what had happened over here. So, lot of thanks for the brainstorming that all the participants have activated and the charging of the thought stimulation that they have initiated in all of us. Okay, and again, there are many factors. First of all, yeah, I think before that, I think I could invite Bipin sir to sum up, or rather.
I think good morning and very happy Independence Day to all of you. And probably we are experiencing a lot of freedom and independence beyond the topic of debate. I mean, when we are talking of medical education, as a central authority, there are two aspects which one considers. One is the globalization of our individual medical practitioners. And another is decentralization and going to the tribal zone. So we need to train our medical fraternity from both the perspectives. So from that angle, you need a standard curriculum which will take care of both the aspects. May not be an finer nuisances, the small part of training which we are talking about in tribal region, or nor we are talking about the globalization of all the nations. So I think when we define centralization, I could see what Chetna was saying of a decentralization. I mean, that also brings in part of administration. But when you're talking of statutory needs, curriculum, the control, and a minimum standard, I mean, we need to have a central control on it when we are talking about global presence of our education. From a different perspectives, I mean, we also need to give some freedom to universities and the institutions to bring in personalized integrations of the need of that state, that district, that institutions, and that specific areas. That also becomes an important part when we are designing our curriculum, and that space has to be provided. The center is a statutory and controlling body. When a lot of talk was going about the national testing agencies and the problems. I don't think the problem is whether you take central test or a local test. The problem is the intent of our leaders, the conscience of our bureaucrats, and honesty and responsibilities of the people who are implementing the process on the ground. So it's the human interface rather than the technical or the what we say the supremacy of decentralized exams or centralized exams, which we need to address to. Because everywhere, if the human interface is not going to be the honest and committed to the future of the nation, I think probably we will be compromising, bringing in the students or the medical doctors who are not qualified. So from all those perspectives, I mean, we need to look at from the objective of medical education and how we are implementing. So there can't be a multiple objectives at a multiple level in a nation. It has to be defined at a central level and which had to be expanded as per the need. So I mean, I am not saying that proposition or opposition. I mean, it has to be integrated and balanced from both the perspectives. If we want somebody to manage a tribal person, or if he wants to get into a larger perspective into global scene and being their own presence. So from both the perspectives, I think I was impressed with both the teams, but probably, they were trying very hard to stand on their points, which is obvious when we have been into the debate. And I felt that few points they were not convinced and they were trying to convince. And that's again a part of it. But definitely we all are, looking forward to a better medical facilities
as well as the human resource to cater to our large population, bringing in modern methods and modern approach without compromising the local appreciation and local approach to the health. So both the aspects summarizes the both proposition as well as opposition. And again, I will reiterate, the most important part is the freedom of a human interface from top to bottom. If that is in place, both the things will work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's hear from the judges now. Our special judge for today, Professor Poonam Kanatra.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. अभी आर्ग्यूमेंट बहुत अच्छे से हो गया इतना और सो गए. गुड मॉर्निंग बोलूं. मैं तो साइकेट्री डिपार्टमेंट वाली ही हूँ. प्लीज ये ऐसा वाला गुड मॉर्निंग गुड आफ्टरनून नहीं चलेगा. बोलो. धवले वाले ऐसे बात करेंगे कैसे चलेगा. मेरे स्टूडेंट भेजने हैं मुझे यहाँ पे जोर से. See, this is what I was asking. आपने दो अपोनेंट बना दिए, एक सेंट्रलाइज के लिए एंड एक डिसेंट्रलाइज. डिसेंट्रलाइज वालों के पास बहुत अच्छे सारे पॉइंट्स थे, बट ये वाला आवाज नहीं था. I was hoping कि थोड़ा झगड़ा तो करो, right? When you are fighting for something, energy तो होनी चाहिए, right? हुआ ऐसा कि सेंट्रलाइज वाले ऐसे एकदम पावर में आ गए और डिसेंट्रलाइज वाले बेचारे हमारे ऐसे वो गांव वाले लोग कैसे वो पीछे हो जाए. नहीं बाबा मुझे डर लग रहा है. कहीं मैं आ गई, आई डोंट नो कैसे अब बिहेव करूं, राइट? ओके, वो वाला डर, वो आई हैव सीन, वो पेपर हिल रहा था एंड आई वाज लाइक पेपर नीचे रख दो, हमको नहीं दिखना चाहिए कि यू आर नॉट एबल टू, और कुछ भूल गए. ओके, सो अगर भूल भी गए तो सामने वाले को क्यों बताना है भाई मैं भूल गई. मुझे पता है ना मैं भूल गई. सामने वाला आई एम लाफिंग राइट नाउ आल्सो. ओके, सी दिस इज व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड when you are fighting, when you have a debate. So सामने वाले को भी तो डर लगना चाहिए कि आ गया बस. जो आया था ऐसा डिसेंट्रलाइज वाले की टीम से कोई एक बंदा आया था एंड उसके साथ वो पावर आया था. आई थॉट कि वो थोड़ा सा कैरी कर ले, बट बिफोर टाइम बंद कर दिया. 5 मिनट्स नहीं बोला. वो थोड़ा सा था नहीं, टाइम पूरा नहीं हुआ था. उसके पहले ही आपकी टीम में से बहुत सारे लोग बिफोर टाइम थोड़ा सा पीछे हट गए. एक दो बंदे थे जो बिफोर टाइम खत्म हो गया. यस, so 3 minutes, whenever you are counting here, that is also required. Okay, so centralization और decentralization क्या जरूरी है? Definitely, जैसा आपने कहा, I am also from the Marathi medium. प्रॉब्लम बहुत हुआ था 11th में, तो ऐसे लगा कि अभी तो फेल. डिस्टिंक्शन लेके मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि 35 इज लाइक हाइट, मर ही गए. सोशियोलॉजी जैसा सब्जेक्ट ने मुझे डरा दिया था. बोले सोसाइटी में क्या करना है, उधर ही रहते हैं तो भी, फिर भी डरा दिया था. इट्स लाइक इसमें से एक भी लाइन समझ में नहीं आ रही है. टीचर पढ़ा रही है, मुझे नींद आ रही है, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. इट हैपेंड. बाद में वो अपना वाला कल्चर वापस कि डिक्शनरी लेके बैठ जाओ एंड एक एक वर्ड के नीचे लिखो बाबा प्रोनाउंसिएशन कैसे करना है, इसको बोलना भी तो आना चाहिए. एंड आफ्टर दैट द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट वर्ड. सो डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन से ही हूं मैं भी. बट व्हाट आई वांट इज कि मेरे बच्चे जो है ना, मेरे जैसे मैंने डिपार्टमेंट से भी शेयर किया है कि मेरे बच्चे, मेरे स्टूडेंट जहां पे भी खड़े हो ना, वहां पे लोगों को लगना चाहिए पालघर से है बाबा. थोड़ा डरना पड़ेगा क्योंकि ये भी हमारे जितने ही है. दे आर हैविंग द सेम क्वालिटी जो मुंबई के स्टूडेंट के पास है. मैं सिखाऊंगी, जरूर सिखाऊंगी। डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन को मैं ऐसा नहीं कह रही हूँ कि वो जरूरी नहीं है या वो नहीं है, बट आई वॉन्ट दैट सिलेबस कि एक पर्टिकुलर तरीके का एक सिलेबस जाना चाहिए, ताकि मेरा हर एरिया का बच्चा फ्रॉम द रूरल एरिया वो भी उसी टाइप का हो जब वो जाए मुंबई की तरफ और अर्बन एरिया। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर गड़बड़ है डेफिनेटली है, तो इम्प्रूव हमको ही करना पड़ेगा, हमको ही डिमांड करना पड़ेगा। 2 लाख के चाहिए, ये ही चाहिए, देन ओनली वी कैन से दैट हम डेवलपिंग से थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़े हैं, राइट? आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन, प्लीज डोंट टेक इट इन अ रॉन्ग वे, but I want everybody to stand like a superstar. I don't want that a single minute feeling that नहीं थोड़ा सा कम है शायद, खड़ी हो जाओ कि नहीं, I don't want. That is my viewpoint, and I appreciate this is a very wonderful initiative. Okay, because medical field से है. We believe doctors are like a god, right? अपनी जिंदगी आपके हाथ में हम देते हैं, we believe in you. और अगर उनके लिए ही प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट हो जाएंगे तो बाप रे सोचना पड़ेगा क्रॉसिंग भी लेना है कि नहीं लेना है, नहीं तो उसमें भी गड़बड़ है, right? If you are facing this much of problem, then entire nation will be in the problem, and that is the reason we have to think about very, very seriously. Okay, so thank you very much for calling me here. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Excuse me for my voice. It was a very informative debate today, and I would like to thank to the mentors and the guides of the team. I don't know whether the debaters could put forth all the points which possibly they received from their guides, but I thought collectively all the points in the area have been put forth. I would like to share my views on that. See, centralization and decentralization. This issue we are not grappling only with medical education, it becomes a very small part of it. We are grappling at all the levels, at the national level, international level. So, who should be the policy maker, who should have powers, who should execute, and what are the needs, what should be the standardization. Centralization would take us to standardization, excellence, but decentralization also demands us, I think Vipin said, I overheard when I entered, he was putting forth both the points. Decentralization focuses more on the local needs. If we try to focus on the topic medical education, I think we should split it in 3 levels. One is the admission procedures, one is the actual medical education, and the third is the healthcare systems. Because if we see the admission procedures, traditionally, I think till 2014, I think maybe when NEET was introduced, before that it was a decentralized. The states were operating it, and we are all products of a decentralized system. Centralization was introduced in order so that uniformity comes, because a lot of irregularities were observed in the state level admission procedures. The students had to appear for, I think, Vipin, we appeared for multiple exams. No? One was a 12th board, then the state exam, and then if you want to go to a national institute, different exams. Then some deemed institutes were having their own exams. A student was almost appearing 5-6 exams to get into a professional course. It was a big stress. Secondly, now the issue of medical education. Whether medical education should be centralized? Yes, it should be centralized. I think I would favor that. But then whether healthcare systems can be centralized? No. Because healthcare system again are diverse depending on the states, depending on the population to whom we are catering. The city population, the urban population, the rural, tribal, and also within them there are subcategories. So it is a challenge to balance what Peter was saying, centralization and decentralization. So I think if this type of we can have a debate on each. Admission procedures, now I think the recent NEET has opened the bag of worms. What is the strike rate of getting into medical colleges? Nowadays we talk of strike rate because of T20.
0.1.
4%. And Shama, don't worry about how many would like to become doctors. Last year NEET was appeared by 20 lakh students. This year it was 24 lakhs. So the number of medical aspirants are increasing and the strike rate is 4%. If the strike rate is 4%, medical education has become pricey. And whenever value of money is added, corruption seeps in. And corruption can occur at any level, centralization or decentralization. It was occurring at the state level, now it is occurring at the central level. If one institute can get 60 students in merit list or first rank, it is possibility they might have manipulated the system. If somebody can score marks, I think yesterday I was I was reading some articles. Somebody can get 720 marks out of 720 and then also 718 and 19. If 4 marks are from correct answer and 1 mark from minus, you cannot get 718 or 19. Now they give grace marks only to students who went to the court. But those who couldn't go to the court, how can a rural person go to the court, rural student? Those who went to the court, they got grace marks. So, there is something wrong in the system, not uniformity. It has to be worked out. So I think there are challenges at both the levels. Yes, education should be centralized, but the intake procedures and the services sector needs decentralization. So there should be a balance between both. The rural student cannot get training in Akash or Byju's. It is unaffordable. And the centralized exam systems are more in favor of the CBSE curriculum. The students of state board lack that. So their scores are definitely dwindling when they try to appear for the NEET exams. That type of training they don't get. So these are the issues and challenges of systems. I think Sunita, if you want to make any additional point, otherwise we go to the results.
I would like to add very few points because as sir mentioned, as a medical student, I am a product of a decentralized system. But as a part of a work or as a part of job profile over here, I am one of the member of NABH and one of the participant in the NAC committee as well. At the same time, as a subject expert in the NCH for the psychology, I have an experience of meeting all the psychology teachers right from Delhi, Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And I'm really feeling sorry for it. As a student, as a ICR student, so far you can say like that, I really got a good knowledge of psychology, though I was not formally teaching the psychology. But once I become a faculty over here, the psychology knowledge went on multiplied or went in depth more than. But when I'm looking all the teachers who are quite senior to me, who were well experienced than me, and I really found that the training was not uniform. The teacher who has been teaching the subject They teach as per their understanding of the topic. There were no standardization. So it is must. So we are talking of though Akash, but Akash in Delhi and Akash in Kanyakumari will teach the same thing. So again, somewhere the standardization we have experienced, and I think though both the teams have come up very strongly, but the opposite team, they were more defensive rather than the aggressive, and coming up with the demerits also. Even the team who were proposing, they could not put all the demerits on the one page, because when we are talking of facts, at the same time, along with the positive part of the fact, some negative parts, if also they would have come up, then probably their debate point could be more strengthened. That is what I think.
So are you ready for the results? You would like to have the result of the winning team first or the speakers first? Choice.
Speakers.
Huh?
Speakers.
You vote for, I will tell you, we as a judges, we had unanimous selection of the speakers. I will give you 4 names whom we propose.
They debated.
You can vote for it orally, yeah?
Putting himself into trouble.
Subsequently, I will tell you the criteria which we applied to select.
First take the criteria so that they can select.
No to go otherwise.
I think the criteria were clarity in understanding the topic, diction, logical delivery of their points, ability to argue or defend against the proposition, humor and confidence. So these were the criteria.
Everyone will be the judge, sir. Yeah.
We have selected 4. You can tell 2, then I will declare the actual. No.
You are the judge.
Really, we had discussion on 4 people, so it is worth we should know what is the criteria.
Sir, we honor your judge, sir. Sir, we honor your judgment.
We were told that we have to select one from the proposing team and one from the opposing team. So the second winner is Anjali.
All judges.
She is from the
I think Anjali, you had a very equal balance of the content as well as the delivery. That went in your favor. The points which you put and also the style of delivery was appreciable. Thank you. Any guesses for the first winner? Yes, Kishore.
a live example of centralization benefits.
I think Kishore, you batted like Rohit Sharma. In the World Cup 50-over final. Because unfortunately, you landed in the losing team. And the winning team is the proposing team. I think in the proposing team, what went in their favor was the delivery of Anjali and the comprehensive points which Safa had put up in her very first presentation, because she could outline the topic very well. The content of her speech was good. So that went in favor of your team.
सर बोलवणार थांबा त्यांचं फेलिसिटेशन आहे
अरे बाद में ले लो ना, ऐसा बोलते हैं।
सर त्यांना फेलिसिटेट करायचे
ते नंतर करूया फोटो
उधर जाके नाम अनाउंस कर वर्ड ड्रॉप होता है त्याला कॅच करा सेंट्रल एजन्सी शेवटच्या पर्यंत सर्व युनिव्हर्सिटी सगळंच काही फ्रॉम मेंबर ऑफ NCH
As per principal sir's suggestion, I would like to invite the source of all this brainstorming and Kumar Dhole sir, please come. And please share how the whole process started in first place.
The process started maybe 2,500 years ago. I don't know how many of you know, we have just come out of the Olympics. But in Olympia, where the games started, it was not mere muscle. It was also literature. Poetry was also an element which was in the competition. And so therefore the ancient Greek idea that muscle and mind go together has been always followed. And it was a very significant thing that when the Olympics were restarted in 1896, and the person who started it was a Frenchman. He took the lead. And he battled with the Olympic Committee for 16 years before the arts were reintroduced into Olympics. So it was in 1912 in the Stockholm Games, that 5 aspects of arts were introduced: literature, painting, architecture, sculpture, and something else. But why probably they eclipsed was because there was a stipulation that whatever was produced should be in the service of sports. So whatever you produce by way of sculpture or architecture or literature must try to emulate or must try to support the sports as a phenomenon. So it continued till 1952 or 1948, when the last Olympics introduced or carried the sports. After that, it has been only muscle. So I think that our students must try to build up the ability to be alive in their intellectual reparity, ability to understand and ability to interact, ability to counter. And when we thought of this topic, it went through a lot of editions. But the main point that was in the mind was that there is this constant jhatka patki between the center and the sticks. And that has been a phenomena that has emerged more prominently in the last few years. It would be interesting for you to know, and this is something which I thought the proposers or the opposers should have investigated, that when in 1956 the Indian Medical Council Act was passed, that time the law only stipulated that the degrees can be recognized and registered in a central act. It did not do away with the state acts. Why? For the simple reason, and which I think you people should have brought out, and which I think Vipin sir and Sunil sir brought out, public health is a state subject. Public health is a state subject in the Constitution. It was in 1976 when, under the emergency, when half the opposition was in jail, that education was shifted from the state list to the concurrent list. So ideally, it has been done under duress, under force, under improper representation. If the states which have been deprived of their right are protesting. And consequent to that, if you see, all the council, the erstwhile Medical Council, Central Council of Homeopathy, the Central Council of Indian Medicines, they started laying down the curriculum and the syllabus at the center. It was not their prerogative to lay down the syllabus because, for the simple reason, they don't have the wherewithal to lay down the syllabus for a country as diverse as Bharat. It is virtually impossible. And so therefore, healthcare, and Sunil, divorcing healthcare from health education makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. And if you recollect, some of you juniors can recollect, that the Indian health scenario over the last 20-30 years has undergone such a vast change and is still undergoing a change, that the South is increasingly getting divorced from the North in terms of the health care and the type of health burdens that the population is going through. And it has been proved that the NCDs are increasing in the South, while the communicable diseases are still strong in the North. So health education in the South ought to be different from the health education in the North and in the Northeast. Because again, Northeast is something that we don't know what it is. Hence, even the type of representation which the central councils had, NCI or CCH or CCIM, when the commissions have come up, even that representation has gone. So today, virtually, India is centrally ruled in a non-representative health scenario. And I think that is one of the greatest tragedies of healthcare in India. Unless you, and this is not true of any government, all governments have been equally bad with respect to respecting the units. The Panchayati Raj law was passed, but the panchayats have not been given money. So how will the Panchayat Raj come into effect? So these are the dichotomies of the Indian situation. And I think that if both the parties would have been able to focus on this, and what I think Sujit came up with is that yes, what the CHV can do I cannot. I have been trained at KM, one of the best institutions. But my education is of no value when I go to the village and try to treat a tribal, unless I have de-educated myself and re-educated myself in a different category. So I think that Shama Madam and Akshata, I think you have been very, very receptive and responsive to whatever suggestions that have been come from time to time. And I think that this sort of a debate and intellectual thinking, sparring, stimulation, I think should be a part. Because gone away from Parliament, now it is coming into Parliament again. So I think that we have to prepare our citizenship to really become responsible citizens, and I think educational institutions are the best places where this can happen. So thank you for a very entertaining morning and afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to call upon Dr. Akshata Nayak ma'am from Cultural Committee to deliver the vote of thanks.
As we have come to the close of this event, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude on behalf of Cultural Committee to all those who have helped us make this event success. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate the residents who participated in the competition. I would like to extend gratitude to Kumar Dhavale sir to help introduce and lead us through the topic of the debate. Heartfelt gratitude to our judges, Professor Poonam ma'am, Sunita madam, Sunil Bhalinge sir, for your time and your invaluable insight. A special thanks to the guides. I would like to call upon Shama madam to give away a small token for the guides. I call upon Vivek sir. Mansi ma'am.
सगळ्यांचं एकत्र काढून
Mansi ma'am. Dr. Tanveer and Dr. Chetan. Hold.
I think as guides, these people have done an incredible job because it is like, reaching something to the grassroots levels. The source started somewhere else, then it came to us, and then from us it passed on to them, and they have very successfully passed on the baton to the recipient residents, and that is how the brainstorming is actually happening today. So thank you for guiding all the students. Okay.
The student members of Cultural Committee, Dr. Shivani, Dr. Devyani and Dr. Kishore for their painstaking effort. And finally, I would like to thank the audience for honoring us with your presence and making this event truly special. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Hind.
Good.